It says we're live now.
Yeah. Wow, you're loud.
Sorry.
Good. That's okay.
It sounds like you. You're Mr. Loud Guy.
I'm loud guy. That's me.
Do you see that? The cat, he's spitting a flaming baseball. He's going to hit it with his tennis racket into the basket.
Good old Josh Druin. The Josh Druin basket.
I know.
Why is it a flaming baseball instead of a flaming basketball? If he's going to
because Josh is a huge fan of sports.
Just he hates basketball.
He loves the sport. No, he loves basketball. That's why he has his own custom basketball hoop.
Oh, yeah. Because who doesn't need their own custom basketball hoop? I wonder if anyone's going to watch us tonight.
Probably not.
Probably not. It's not looking good.
Josh Druin's our guest tonight on Talking Beards. We're going to talk about Talking Beards, the online competition, Volume 3 tonight.
Volume 3.
So turn your volume up to 11 and let's get going.
Oh, hey, what's going on, everybody, in Talking Beards world on a Wednesday night? But yeah, we're here. Episode number 215 of the live show. This is going to be episode number 293 of the podcast. Getting ever closer to that 300 mark, Scott Sykora.
I know. This is exciting. Well, to do a different night of the week is pretty exciting. I mean, it doesn't feel right at all.
No, man, it's definitely tomorrow. I'm going to wake up and think it's Wednesday. Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be a long week, but it'll be all right. I'm Aaron D. Johnston. I'm over here. And tonight we have Josh Druin on the show. He is the charity beneficiary for Talking Beards.
Recipient.
Oh, there you go. Recipient. That's a hard word to say.
Recipient.
Yeah, you say that. He's the hashtag person getting the money from our competition. But yeah, we're going to talk about the competition tonight. We're going to talk with Josh, dive deep into his life and, his kidney issues and what he likes. And, we're just going to learn who Josh Druin is, Scott Sykora.
Bet you he likes Britney Spears.
Oh, everybody loves Britney Spears. Everybody. You have to. But, yeah, we've had a pretty adventurous few days, but how are you? What's going on with you, Scott Sykora? Ooh, dadgummit, I didn't make a talking hands thing. We even talked about it. Talking hands.
Look at that.
I know.
That the first fist. Nope, there, my finger just locked.
Oh.
So that's what happens, everyone. You're getting a firsthand experience of. Yeah, so this is when I make a fist.
It is physically locked right now.
See if everyone can listen. Listen quietly. It might make the really loudest sound.
No loud.
It cracked, but
yeah, that just looks painful.
It doesn't feel the best, but yeah. So since we talked, I got my shots in my hands. So right here and right here, I stuck a needle. Oh darn! I wish I had the pic. I sent you the picture, didn't I?
Of
the needles?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he sticks a needle in there, and it doesn't hurt at first. It just like a pricking feeling, and he's like, all right. I apologize. And I'm like, I'm forgetting how it was like before. And then he just starts injecting it. And it's like, it feels like it just starts spreading out inside the palm of my hand. And it just, all of a sudden, it feels like my skin gets really tight and burning. And then it just like, it feels like it's trying to escape, and it burns and it hurts really bad for like about a minute or two. And then it calms down. So then we did the other hand and it was the same way.
So
The
what are
whole
they shooting in there? Just steroids?
Yeah, just steroids.
Okay.
So it was a lot better than last time, because I remember when I left the office, like I felt like I was gonna cry because it just hurt really bad, and I'm like,
Right.
I have no idea how I'm gonna get home, because I'm like, I can't bend my fingers to drive my car, like to
How'd
put my
you get
hands on.
home?
I had to drive like with the palms of my hands. So, but this time, like I still had mobility. I could still move my fingers. I mean, it was
Good.
like it's still the same as it normally was. It was just harder to move everything. But happy hump day to you, Stephanie.
Yeah, what's up, Stephanie?
But yeah, I was able to move my fingers, so it wasn't as restricting as it was before. But then going through the rest of the day, like it was like I couldn't bend my fingers barely at all. And then the next day, like my hands just hurt. They were just super sore. And then going into the weekend, like I tried to I've had epidural injections and they are not pleasant.
What the heck did you get epidural
She
injection?
had a baby.
That's what I thought. Like, isn't that like epidural for like when women have babies? I guess they use it for other things, obviously. I genuinely did not know.
Wow, look at this. Corey's like he's
sorry.
like, suck it up. Every 2 months I bought these here.
Oh, look at me. I'm Corey. Oh,
Corey, every 2 months. Look at me.
Oh, every 2 months, I'm Corey. Well, go shave your mustache, Corey.
Yeah,
Good.
shave your mustache.
Yeah,
Nobody.
go shave your mustache and enter the contest. Yeah, do it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and then going through the weekend, like it was just I don't know, it was just hurting worse but feeling better. And so I went back to work on Tuesday, and like I couldn't even hold like my squeegee at all. Like it just was like I had to like hold it like this. And by the end of the day, I mean, my hand was like around the handle. So
just throughout the day, you were able just to loosen it up.
yeah, yeah, as I just move around more, it definitely like I can, which
Look at that.
That's like way better than normal.
That's pretty good.
But it hurts. It's
still.
Yeah.
Damn.
So hopefully by this time next week, as we go in with what's going on with Scott's hands,
continue to evolve and stop hurting.
Yeah, I should be able to like make fists, and there should be no pain.
Well, hopefully on next episode of Talking Hands, we'll have a graphic for you to talk about your hands.
Yeah, Jeff's like, I should be rich being the first man to have a baby. He doesn't.
That was a perfect Jeff Harris impression. T-Head's here. And there's a few people here. Andrew Hatton is here. I was actually on Andrew Hatton and Ron Rice's show Monday night. The Bearded Business guys. They were on our show a few months ago, and I did an episode of theirs, and I was talking about this, man, just pimping it out, just trying to get.
You are making the rounds, being a whore.
I am doing that, but I had a pretty exciting night, and we can kind of get into what the heck happened to Talking Beards on Tuesday night a little bit.
Yeah, so yeah, we definitely can, because I mean we have a lot to talk about, because we were getting ready for the show last night, and we were making our plans up, and I still the face that you were making when you froze on the screen.
Yeah.
And I was like busy telling you a story, and then your face is like, and then
I'm just sitting there,
and then you were sitting there, and I like look over, and I was like, well, that's a dumb face. And I didn't say anything. And then I sat there, and I was like
making my face back,
making your face. And then I was like waiting for you. And then I was like looking really hard, and I'm like, is he messing with me? Because I do it to him all the time.
Yeah. On our pre-shows, many times Scott will just sit there
I'll
and
be just like, but I can do it like perfect. Like
he does it pretty good.
So that's what I thought he was doing to me. And then all of a sudden my phone went off, and he's like, he explains to me that the whole world's falling apart.
Yeah, so we were sitting here, Natalie's over there on the couch, and I'm sitting here, and we're doing the pre-show stuff maybe 15 minutes before the show, and dude, it sounded like the thunder and lightning was inside of our house, dude. It shook the whole house. It was loud as crap. And then in the next room where my modem and router and stuff are, I heard a pop. Like it was a pretty loud pop. I'm like, wonder surely that's not what happened. Like the lightning was just so close, it cut out the internet and it's gonna come back. And I got in there and I went in there and the light on the internet equipment was off. I was like, that's weird. I'm pretty sure there's a light on. And I went over there and picked up that router, and it was smoking hot. Like it was extremely hot. So I unplugged everything,
and it said, "Don't call me Shirley."
Do not call me Shirley is what it said. But we did the unplug, plug back in, and the light would come on and turn off. We held the reset, did the whole deal, and it was done. And so then we came back and we kind of talked about it. We're like, well, Josh really wasn't feeling the show, and my internet isn't really going to work, so I was going to have to do it off my phone or something. And then I don't know if like my computer messed up Scott's computer. I don't know what happened. It was just like technical difficulties, and we just called it. So that's what happened last night. So fast forward to today. I'm like, all right, I got my appointment for.
Oh my gosh, it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday now, so
I fast forwarded.
We got our appointment for the cable guy to come, but he's not going to be here till Friday. So we just took the matters in our own hands and took our equipment to Augusta to the Xfinity store, and we're just like, hey man, I think internet or the lightning hit our internet last night, and they're like, no problem. Here's a bigger, better box. I'm like, cool. I came home, installed everything, and it worked. My internet was faster than it was, and we were like, all right, cool. Made a Facebook post. We're Xfinity fast. We're good to go. So then from there we went to town, and I think then we went to go get Natalie's car, which if you follow our travel saga of life over the last couple of years, our compressor went out last summer for the air conditioner, and I guess Saturday it supposedly went out again. I was like, so we went up there, dropped the car off. We went to pick the car up. Everything's working. It wasn't the compressor. It was something else. So that's resolved. We had a CV axle that needed replaced. That was resolved. Natalie hopped in the car, drove maybe a half mile up the road, and she just pulls over and starts turning around. Every dash light came on. There was dash lights that I had never seen before, like check engine light came on. There was some weird hill climbing. There was one that was like the car that looked like it was on water. Like there was the eyesight, like the traction, but like the computer cruise control that adjusts the cruise control and stuff. All those lights were on, like the whole dash light. It looked like a Christmas tree.
It looked like a Christmas tree, everyone.
Absolutely. Looked like a Christmas tree. So we're like, all right. So we took it back up there, dropped it off. Not thrilled. And we came home, and they called us a couple hours later and was like, it's fine. We're good to go. So we went back up there, and they said, well, we pulled the codes and we cleared them all. And twice in this conversation, he said the only electronic piece I unplugged was a sensor on the axle. He said that twice. So I'm thinking maybe he just didn't plug that sensor back in. Maybe. And then he got in there and just plugged the sensor back in. It was all good, but he didn't want to just say, oh, I'm a doofus and forgot to plug a sensor in. Or he just cleared the codes and everything disappeared and didn't come back. Either way, it's good now. AC's working. We're riding smooth. We're ready to go to Chattanooga or McDonald, Tennessee. It's Chattanooga adjacent this weekend. And yeah, that was kind of our adventure back and forth across all over the place today. And oh yeah, that's it. I think we got a box. Oh no. So then I left out a part. So we got our car, came home, and the internet wasn't working from the new box. There we go. So Natalie started watching a show. And so I was like, well, it's 4-ish at this point. So I just I took all the equipment, drove all the way to Augusta, walked in, and the lady was like, "Did it not work?" I was like, "Yeah, it worked for about 4 hours." She's like, "What are you doing with your internet?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm trying to watch TV." And so, yeah, exactly. Exactly, Jeff Harris. That's what I'm thinking.
He's like, that particular plug turn on several lights.
But so then we came back home. I plugged the new router in, and it's been running for about 2.5, 3 hours, and it hasn't exploded yet. So hopefully, maybe we just got a dud. I think pretty positive that the last one got hit by lightning or something. But the one that we got today, maybe it was just a dud. I don't know. I don't know what could have caused it just to quit working. So, but that was our day, and it was a lot of back and forth and aggravation, but we're doing it. We're doing Talking Beards. We've got Josh Druin, and everything is right in the world, I think. The end.
I believe things will be right in the world.
I think so. I
think things will be even more better. They're definitely not more gooder.
I think the word you're looking for is gooder.
Yeah, things will be more gooder when we get our guest in here, I bet.
Gosh, it's going to be so good.
Because we're going to learn lots of really interesting things about Josh, and probably like why his favorite sport is basketball, sometimes tennis, baseball. I don't know. We didn't really
sometimes cat ball,
hairballs,
because Josh Druin loves cat balls. So let's get on to this. So yeah, we touched on it a little bit. We're doing this competition, and everybody might not know who are our. What would you say?
What do you sound like a pirate now? Arr. Recipient.
That word, the recipient of our charity beard competition will be Josh Druin, and we're going to bring him on so everyone can learn who he is. So,
but you have to say it right though. Recipient. Okay, good. Right? You did.
All right. So yeah, so tonight from Louisville adjacent area, somewhere in Kentucky, we've got Josh Druin, and he's going to tell us all about his life, his kidney adventures, and his beard adventures. So here we go, Mr. Josh Druin. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Thanks. It's going well.
I feel like we're dating. We've seen each other 2 nights in a row.
It's getting pretty serious, I think.
Oh my God.
Yes.
We're gonna have to braid our beards together,
What's up, Carl?
Maybe.
So, Josh, where are you right now?
Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah. All right. I didn't lie.
Pronounce Louisville. Home of the Slugers.
Louisville, Louisville.
It's Louisville. Like many people say, like you have to say it like you have marbles in your mouth, but you know that because you're from there.
Habit of putting marbles in my mouth, though. It's dangerous.
Well, you have to if you're trying to pronounce where you're from.
That's true.
Like if someone's like, "Where are you from?" You're like, "Oh, hold on, I got to put some stuff in my mouth so I can't say it properly."
Louisville. Yeah. So, just tell everybody, kind of who you are and what got you into this whole bearding thing. Let's just go there.
So, what actually got me into a lot of the things that I'm into in life currently, or actually for the past 15, 20 years, was a Swedish heavy metal band called Monomarth, and
they're so good.
Love them. And they had the beards and stuff. And at the time, I was working at UPS, and I was like, you know what? I think I should grow a beard. And then eventually left that job. I couldn't at the time due to their regulations and stuff. But so I started doing that, and then I guess it was around 2012. Or maybe a little earlier. I'm garbage at time and spatial recognition, but I actually Whisker Wars was in its heyday and stuff, and I'm chilling out here in Louisville, and I'm like, why don't I start a club? And so I had this little graphic I'd drawn up and stuff. Also, at the time, I would have not been able to socially be a part and or lead a club, so I was thankful as could be when. Through looking at it, Derby City Whisker Club popped up. And so I was like, great, someone's already done it, And went to my first meeting very, very sheepishly. I was anxious and nervous. because it's just how you get sometimes. And I was like, you know what, just go in. What's the worst that's going to happen? They're a bunch of weirdos. The bad kind of weirdos. I like good weirdos, but
Right. Yeah.
went in and now I've got some friends for life, and it opened up an entire world of travel and community and stuff like that. So I've always found that to be really endearing about it, and uh, yeah, so that's definitely what got me into it. Was a Swedish metal band.
Swedish metal band. So were you already watching Whisker Wars? Like, did you watch it live, or is that how you kind of figured out about the competitive part, or did you watch it reruns? Or
Yeah, I want to say it was probably on YouTube or something like that. I don't think, because I knew it was on like a specialty channel or something like that. And so,
independent film channel?
yeah, the IC, they make great stuff. But yeah, so it was kind of just one of those things where I was like, that's interesting. That's kind of cool. And of course, all the drama and stuff that went on with that, which I'm not too much into that aspect. But if I'm watching it on TV, sure, why not?
It was all real too.
Oh,
Yeah, it was all definitely. None of it was scripted at all. It was all completely like just straight up real.
Yeah.
So you started hanging out with Derby City, and when that was like 2012, 13, and in that time frame, right? And
somewhere in there.
So did you travel much with the club? Did y'all like all get together and travel around the nation, or what did that look like in back then?
So we definitely, with the group, and of course the timing of it and stuff of when they had it scheduled. I had gone to a couple smaller ones, one out in Mount Sterling, Kentucky. Then there was a big one in Lexington, and that one was the one that really was like I want to do this. Like this is awesome because it was huge. They had
Do you
like
remember whose event that was in Lexington?
Uh,
I was just curious, really.
Yeah, I'm kind of. I remember mostly where it was at. But I can't remember.
It wasn't an early title beard event, was it?
I don't think so, but I remember Beardalizer was real huge, and I think they sponsored it at the time. Okay. But it was like a Rockies it's hard to remember, but it was just an awesome time. It was more of that feeling that I got from it that I really took. I actually have a picture. I don't know where that picture is, but yeah, and yeah, it was that sort of spectacle and that the grandiosity of it that I was just like, this is cool. Because I'd been to a couple of ones in bars, which I love the ones in bars. Like
right, but this was next level. This was definitely
this was a dang award show kind of thing going on, like massive. And so after that, I was like, all right. And then of course with Ryan, Pat, Jason, all the dudes, and Melissa and all them, they were all really into traveling and stuff. And before I started bearding, I had not actually traveled that much outside of like Michigan, a trip to Florida when I was younger and stuff. But bearding took me to Texas, New York, which New York and Texas were both incredible experiences. Of course, there's a lot more other places I want to go, especially internationally, but with time, that all has to sort itself out and stuff.
So that New York event, was that 2014 Nationals, or was
that was Nationals in 2014. There were 12 of us that rode up.
That's awesome.
Big passenger van. My younger brother went with me.
Those were the heyday of bearding, man.
Mm-hmm.
We were scaring people on subways because we looked like a biker gang. And
nice.
Then we'd just be silly to one another, crack jokes or sing songs, that kind of crap. And it just really, they were skittish of us at first, but then they kind of like, oh, okay, they're just dudes, they're just nice guys that look mean.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about people with beards. I remember that when I very first got in myself, was like, man, some of these dudes are scary looking, and then they're not at all. Like,
I'm still scared of them.
You're scary looking. You're one of them, Mr. Sykora. You're a scary looking dude.
Shut your mouth.
So you're competing a little bit. You're traveling around. I know you have some other interests. Did you travel around with other groupings of people that you were hanging out with, or was your main traveling just bearding?
Yeah, that was mainly it. Like,
Okay.
because like everyone's kind of like I've never been in a band or anything like that or toured, but I really likened it to touring in a way because people piling in a car, piling it into a hotel room, going to these events, having a great time partying and just celebrating, and of course raising money for charities and stuff. So it really it was completely brand new to me, and it was just amazing. And it still is. Like I've with COVID and stuff, of course, that kind of got put on its brakes, and then midway through COVID, my kidney stuff occurred. So
Yeah.
that's
So,
been
so let's get into that. So what happened? Let's just point blank, like what happened?
Yeah, did
Like
you just like
you were
wake up?
fine, right?
Did you like wake up like one day and you're like my back hurts or you're peeing blood? I mean, like, yeah, what's this whole story? I mean, just because number one, like we want to hear the story, but number two, this is just good information for people
oh
to hear in general because they could potentially experience some of these symptoms or something, and it gives them like a test of like, all right, so this is what I heard happened to Josh, you
right.
know.
Yeah. So it was about 2007. I was working at Amazon at the time, and I herniated 2 discs in my back. Ended up having to go to the ER and stuff like that. And so from there, they gave me pain meds and all that kind of stuff. And to me, the pain wasn't bad enough. And ibuprofen and NSAIDs took care of it. Uh, I had a couple uncles who got on prescription pain pills and moved on to heroin and stuff like that, and they passed
Dude, it
within.
happened to a lot of people.
Yeah, and it was all within like 6 months, and so I didn't want to go that route, and so I was taking a lot of Aleve and uh, Advil and that kind of stuff, which is
Mhm.
extremely dangerous. And I
Yeah,
didn't.
apparently.
Yeah, it'll wreck your stuff. But I also had some other kind of pre-existing things. There's thought that when I was hit by a car when I was 5, that it caused some trauma. But also, that's 32 years later. It's like, hey, here I am. I'm back. So it kind of like I didn't know about that, but I also have a condition. It's what's the word? Luckily, it's not hereditary. It's just in your genes, basically. But it's called glomerulonephritis,
Okay.
and just crappy kidneys and stuff. And of course, my diet was crap and all that. Uh, but yeah, I constantly had back pain. But I was also a plumber, so I was just like, I'm working, physical labor and stuff like that. So there's going to be some aches and pains. Uh, the only real symptom that I felt like I had that I had noticed for a while was apparently when your kidneys aren't functioning as well, uh, your urine becomes foamy. And so it had been like that for so long, I just didn't, it was normal.
So how long were you peeing foamy pee? Like
Years.
years?
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
So
Yeah.
you're just ignoring the little
Well,
symptoms,
yeah,
kind
but I have been going to the doctor semi regularly, checkups, not every year. Uh, But that's the fun thing though too is they're like if you're a certain age, they don't want you to go to the doctor every year, which I think's insane. Like just go, get
Yeah, just
checked up.
go. Yeah,
It's
go
good.
get checked up.
But so that was occurring. That wasn't a symptom that I knew was a symptom and stuff, and so I didn't bother with it, kind of thing. And then cut to, I guess it was late 2020, 2021. See, I'm terrible with time.
Yeah.
But anyway, me and some friends had gone to the Ohio Renaissance Festival. We'd spent all day out there, had a great time, and we got back to our Airbnb. We were staying in a little what are those little campers? Airstream. and
Okay.
having a good time sitting by the fire. So I get up and I go to. I'm feeling a little off, so I'm like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, And so I stand up and start walking. I get about 10 or so feet, and I just feel this wave of dizziness. So I take a seat and I'm chilling out. My friend's like, "Hey, you good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just need a minute, because I've been getting a little dizzy at work if I'd been down on the ground and then get up real quick and stuff." Uh, and so I get up and I'm like, "Hey, can you all help me inside the trailer? Like, I'm just feeling a little off. I want to go lay down." And so my buddy Tim helps me into the trailer, and we're walking, and I feel fine all of a sudden. I'm like, all right, cool. So I was like, I got this.
Yeah, you just
And
walked it off. You're fine now.
yeah. I mean, that's the way I've honestly always been for the most part. And so I take a few steps. Next thing I know, I'm falling down. And so I hit the ground and I start like army crawling towards the bathroom. So I'm like, I got to throw up. And I get about to where the bathroom is. It's like another 10 feet or so. And then the nausea goes away completely. And I want to lay down against the bed. I want to sit up. And so I'd spin myself around and I'm sitting there. Tim's like, "Dude, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm fine." And then
I'm good.
yeah. And I felt like in that moment, I felt perfectly fine. And so then Tim says I died because my eyes roll back in my head. My skin goes gray, my lips go purple, and I seize up, like not a seizure, but just like full body rigidity.
Yeah.
And so and he's what the hell? And so I start making some like gagging noises. I'm throwing up inside of my mouth with my jaw clenched closed.
God.
And so like there's vomit coming out of my nose a little bit, and so he's like, "Oh no, no, no!" So he runs over and does what you're not supposed to do, and he pries my mouth open, and that's how you get your fingers bit off,
Right, but he was trying to get the barf out.
right,
Like,
and so I come back too,
Wow.
exorcist all over the place, and then like I'm I'm not cognitive at that point in time, and so like when I finally come to, I look over at the puke and I'm just like, man, I gotta clean that up, don't I?
That was your first thought.
yeah, because I'm an adult. No one cleans up my puke for me.
Right, I get it.
But he's like, should we go to the hospital, blah blah blah. I was like, nah, we're good.
I just need to barf a little bit. I'm fine. So are y'all drinking and stuff right now?
we had drank earlier in the
Okay.
day, but
So maybe you're just kind of like maybe dismissing it to
dehydrated.
that or something like that.
something like that. And so, I come to and like, I'm up and about. I'm walking around perfectly fine. Everything's good. Like it's gone. It's past. And he's like, I still want to go to the hospital. I was like, no. I'm like, I'm not going to ruin this trip.
No,
Just
I'm good now. I'm
stupid dude shit, basically.
Yeah, I get it, dude. I'd have done the same crap.
It's a severe medical emergency, and I'm just like, it's good. Uh, and so he's like, well, we're going to go tomorrow. I was like, no, we've got another day of fair planned. And so we end up going fair, and I'm fine the whole day. But then I get back to Louisville, and my doctor had actually left me a message Friday afternoon, a voicemail that I just didn't see. And we had been doing some tests and stuff because I was showing I've got sleep apnea too, because why not? Just give me
Right.
all that crap. And so we were doing blood work and stuff for that, and she called me and was like, "Hey, you need to get admitted to the hospital. Your kidney functions at 7%."
Oh wow.
So yeah, and so basically Monday morning, got checked in. They did a bunch of different tests. They did a biopsy. They had to put a tube catheter in my chest to be able to do dialysis.
So they just went right in. There's like, we're doing dialysis now. Like this is just what we're doing.
It was bad apparently.
Yeah, 7. That's
yeah.
What's Natalie at?
like 19 right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm so thankful that you and Natalie know about it and like working on it and stuff. It still sucks, but like having that education is a really good resource to stay healthy in that. And but I was in the hospital for like 9 days. While I was there, my catalytic converter got stolen off my car.
Good Lord.
Oh, I was so pissed. Like,
oh, imagine. So how was that when you got out of the hospital and started your car? Did it scare the crap out of you?
Well, yeah, I had scared everyone else because I knew what was going to happen. But it sounded like a Harley, and I'm like, luckily the hospital was only like 5 minutes from where I lived, but it made any sort of driving anywhere just miserable.
Oh, I can imagine.
But and then from there, basically, that's how it all sort of happened. And since then I've been doing dialysis 3 times a week. They took the chest tube out, which that thing sucked because you couldn't take showers, you couldn't take bath. You could take showers, but I'd spend 20, 30 minutes taping it off because you don't want that infected. So it was just like this elaborate process. They finally put a AV fistula in my arm.
And which that has like a cap and stuff on it?
No, they needle me every time
with
Capri Sunstraw needles. And it's very interesting. It was wild because I had actually done some plumbing work at a DaVita dialysis clinic about a year before all this happened. And I just remember being in there like, man, this sucks. I hope these people get better, but I also hope this never happens to me.
and then there you are.
Yep.
A year later.
But yeah.
So once it really kind of took off and you were already at 7%, you got out of the hospital and stuff, were you able to still continue working like normal, or that was it? You had to quit your job and stuff then?
Yeah. Basically, I went on medical leave right then and there, just because, especially when it first started and that chest catheter was in. I did dialysis earlier today. If I still had that chest catheter on, I would not be on here right now. Or if I was, I'd just be like, hey.
So what's the difference between the two?
It's not as efficient, and it is it's just more stressful. I don't know why. I probably should, but it's just a lot more stressful on the body, and it's not because what happens, of course, is you retain fluid, and then you also retain toxins because your kidneys aren't filtering those out. So it cleans better through the needles versus the plastic tube hanging out and stuff like that. So
I kind of would have thought the installed tube would have done better than the needles.
Right. The thing that essentially was feeding, I don't think it was directly into the heart, but pretty dang close because they went in like right here. Yeah, it was cool. His name was Nebuchadnezzar the Neck Noodle.
I mean, you had some sort of humor about it, at least, I guess. So, I mean, that's
probably what can you really do? I mean, you have to deal with it, and
that's how I handle most serious situations, is jokes. Like,
I get that.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
So you're a fun-loving guy who was in a shitty situation.
But yeah, go to the dang doctor. Get checked out. Because, all the time we're hearing about people who have something, that's just lurking. And it's terrifying. And it's always, it's not going to be me. It's not going to be me until it is.
Until it is.
And, of course, it's getting or obtaining medical care and stuff like that can be extremely hard for people. But that's like my brothers and sisters. I've got 3 brothers and a sister, and I'm just like, just go to the doctor.
Yeah, y'all should probably get your kidneys looked at, maybe.
And they've all got kids and stuff, and they're just like, well, I don't want to know if I've got something. Like, yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
You do. Like, especially if you can get ahead of it. Because had I known my functionality was, 50% at some point, I would.
Yeah, were you not feeling weird at 50? You're just rocking and rolling.
Just a little bit of back pain, and then having dizzy spells. So a lot of the indicators of kidney disease, blood in the urine, the severe back pain and stuff like that. It was never that bad for me. That's why I was really confused when she said 7%.
Yeah, dude, that's
wrong.
That's wild that they didn't catch it, or you didn't catch it, or no one even thought about it until you were all the way at 7 already.
Yeah,
man, that shit's crazy.
It really is. It's
So what's your current percentage right now?
I think it's still 7-ish. Like I get my doctor comes by and stuff like that once a week, and we chat and that kind of stuff. And so there's not been anything like that, any drop, which I assume they would let me know. I think next time I see her, I'm going to ask her. But it really comes down to trying to make, and I had been already trying to make healthier decisions, cut back on the booze, crappy food, and that kind of thing. But once all this hit, it's luckily the main thing I have to avoid is like overly processed foods, which we probably should anyway. Yeah, and then a lot of which that sucks because I love ice cream and cheese.
So it made you lactose intolerant?
Oh no, I've always had like a weird situation. A lot of kidney patients and stuff, they'll retain those toxins and stuff like that. I feel like I'm gonna start talking to you about crystals here in a minute.
All part of it. We need to.
Yeah, man.
It's good. It's good to inform everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. But so part of it can be retaining of toxins or minerals and stuff. Like potassium's great for you, but when all this first happened, my potassium was through the roof because I wasn't eliminating that waste, and that can cause heart attacks. And then of course phosphorus can cause. That's about the only thing I still have that is elevated is my phosphorus, which that also can trouble the heart, and then causes bone and joint issues. So like at any given time, my joints just hurt. Like that's just life now. So if I'm ever out and about and I've been sitting down for a while and I stand up and it looks like I'm walking funny, that's why. It's just my bones are weird now.
So Corey had a question. Yep. It sounds weird, but he wanted to know: did your nuts hurt while you had the back pain? Was it you didn't have any like weird sensation in your testicles or anything?
No, none.
Huh.
There you go, Corey. There's your answer.
But Corey, if you're having weird nut pains, get that checked out.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well. And like earlier, Marty wrote here, he's like, health is one thing you don't want to mess with. And that's why yearly checkups are important to see how we are doing and to talk to the doctor about what's going on. So,
yeah, absolutely. Like it's, and naturally we're all getting a little bit older,
Absolutely, man. We are.
When did that happen?
I don't know, but it did for sure.
It happens real quick on you.
So Josh, what's your day-to-day look like now? So you can't work at all, and are you still able to do like, because you did like not LARPing, but you did like Renaissance fairs and stuff, right? And you like dressed up and you would you like reenact battles and stuff like that, right?
So
what were you doing, and are you able to do any of that now? It's like a 2-part.
Kind of, sort of.
Okay.
So basically, when all this went down, prior to, I'm with a stunt performance group called Ulfhaven Vikings, and basically, like you're saying, we get dressed up and we put on a show basically. So it's about a half an hour show where we'll do choreographed fight scenes. We use all real swords and axes and stuff. They're not sharp, But if you sharpened them, they're literal medieval weapons of war.
Right. I mean, you still probably wouldn't want to get busted up the side of the head with one, even if it wasn't sharp.
Yeah. We had a guy at the first performance I was at. We had a guy who basically an accident happened. It was rainy, and one of the swords just glided across the side of the dude's head. And so, that kind of stuff happens, especially with weather. And so but we rehearse everything. We have safety guidelines, but mud's tricky. It can cause your foot to move and your whole body to shift. And so he got caught by just the tiniest little burr on the side of the sword, but because of the rain and the sweat, it looked like, just a wound. And so that kind of stuff happens. But I kind of just fell in love with it, and that's also the what I was talking about earlier with the Monomarth. That's what got me into Viking stuff.
Okay.
So basically, I owe my whole life and personality to a Swedish metal band. But so I stopped doing the stunt work. I don't do any of the fighting anymore, just because with my left hand, I can't lift over 10 pounds. I have to watch what I'm doing and stuff. So any of the cool stuff I used to do like that or snowboarding, I'm not going to do. It's not worth messing my arm up or anything like that, compromising myself further. Mm-hmm. But luckily, one of the other things I do with that group is I do a lot of the storytelling, and I kind of MC the events and stuff at this point, because it's intense, like, especially if it's hot outside, when we've got people doing back-to-back fights, giving them that break to where they can rest or get water and that kind of thing, and not, run the show essentially. So that's basically the role that I've kind of moved into. And then I also do some rune reading, which is divination, based on, runes, which Vikings and stuff used and followed and that kind of thing.
So you can definitely still participate with your people. You're just not able to be extremely physical, but there's other things that you can still do. So you're still at least getting your outlet, and you're still able to hang out and do your hobby and stuff, but you're not
enjoy things in your life that you can enjoy.
Right, for sure. And that's, that and bearding are my two hobbies. Those are the things that I do. It's just, I do miss fighting. And of course, if I do get a kidney, or when I get a kidney transplant and, get healthy again, I want to go back to it. Cause the arm, the fistula that's in my arm will come out, and all that kind of stuff. And I want to get back to really doing. But as far as I've been looking for some part-time work, some low impact kind of stuff, so Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, I'm pretty much useless. I'll, do some chores possibly, but it's just those are low energy days, and that kind of thing. So trying to find places that can accommodate that, as well as the weight restrictions, that's just really difficult. And but I'm definitely looking into getting some part-time work, and also that messes with like your disability,
right?
And it's bizarre to me.
It's a lot, and I mean you're you're trying to get healthy again. So I mean, really, probably the best that you didn't work. Probably but I can imagine just wanting to,
normal.
Yeah. The first 6 months, I was like, "This is awesome." I was catching up on video games and all that stuff, and now it's just
awesome ran out. Yeah,
right. Like I just stare at the wall for a little bit.
So you brought it up earlier. How is your kidney transplant stuff going? Are you on the list? Like what?
Yeah. So I'm listed with Louisville and Lexington. And then I've had a couple people who were interested in being living donors. So I thank them very much. Compatibility can be difficult.
Extremely,
and explain to you. But I'm listed, and so it's kind of like the main reason why I wanted a living donor was they're living, because unfortunately deceased donors are from people who have left this world, and their
And
family.
those kidneys don't last as long either, from what I
They
understand.
Yeah, living is better, but the deceased donors are they've gotten better, just because advancements in compatibility. They really want to make sure that you are a match, and and that starts off at blood type, and then they do some other markers and stuff, and it's very scientific now and stuff, which is
Extremely.
pretty cool. Yeah, but yeah, it's a waiting game basically, and that's it is what it is. I would feel very fortunate to receive a deceased donor kidney, but it's just kind of just waiting.
Have they given you any indications on, about your kidney or about the transplant stuff? That if they been like, well, you're a little young, so maybe you're, what have they given you any type of timeline when you might get one, or they just don't know?
Yeah, it's like 1 to 7 years.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of one of those things that it's just you just have to respect it. It's there's not much you can do about it. But in the meantime, it's pretty stringent too. Like I've never smoked, so people that smoke are pretty much ineligible. There's the word to receive a donation kidney
Huh, I
because
didn't know that.
smoking is really bad for your kidneys, as well, of course, your lungs and a host of other things. But it does make you look cool.
Yeah, man, that's the most important part. You freaking cool.
Right.
Freaking cool.
But yeah, there's a host of things. Going to treatment, making sure that you stay your whole time. There's a whole bunch of different things, and my technicians and stuff, they adore me there because I'm
Good.
nice and polite. Some people have been in there for years, though. I like to think I'm still going to be chill about it. If I'm there for multiple years, but it's hard. Like especially like for folks that are if you're diabetic and stuff, that makes getting a kidney really difficult. So it's just like I get why some of these people are as upset and angry as they are.
And
It's
just
just
aggravated,
yeah,
I could only imagine, like, if you're like, all right, enough's enough. We're getting pretty aggravated.
yeah,
Get me a kidney here. What are we doing? And
right.
I'd be aggravated for sure.
Because it's like work but worse. Because you got to go there. I do my session is from like 12:05 and it runs 3 hours and 45 minutes. So it's kind of like having a part time job.
That's it.
Uh, I have to go to and stuff, but I'd much rather be around than not. So I'm
You
gonna
should
go
have
do
you and Natalie can do a show called Talking Kidneys.
right.
Talking kidneys. Yeah. I mean, good.
Right. Yeah, it's
Wow.
it's been an interesting process, and when I do finally get a kidney, I'll be severely like immunocompromised for about 3 to 4 months. So I'm probably just going to disappear for a little while.
Hmm.
Uh, like I won't be going out and doing much of anything. But once that time passes and that compatibility really starts working well and stuff, I can get back to doing things.
We're gonna see you at every single beard competition.
Right? It's gonna be wild. I'm gonna be
And then
so.
you can shave back into a goatee again, so then you can have the most prestigious facial
That's
hairstyle
when you
again.
looked the best. Like I
Absolutely.
was just like,
Remember back
man,
in the day when you looked really good and you had a goatee? Gosh,
yeah,
those were the days.
yeah.
So the reason why I had the goatee was I just really liked shaving, like not the whole beard, but it was just the flats of the cheeks, and I'm just like I like this. This is nice. It's therapeutic. It's relaxing. Um, but I don't know. I do like the chops.
No, you don't.
None of the women in my life like the chops though.
because that sounds like a bunch of
even
good
as a
women in
cartoon
your
character, you look silly with chops.
But I also awesome. I look like I'm going to sell you a car. Like,
I
don't
guess
know.
I'm not buying that car.
Well, thankfully, at least you're not a whaler.
Yeah,
That's
at
true.
least
That's all we
there's
say.
Some great whalers, but
No, wait a minute. Those two words don't go together.
fair enough.
great.
I mean, if you change one of the letters and be grape whalers, yes, there
would
are
make
grape whalers.
They are grape whalers. T-Had's a really grape whaler.
Yeah. I don't know what that is, but it sounds good though.
Sounds good.
I like purple things.
Well, Josh, thank you for stopping by and telling
sure.
Everybody about who you are and letting us all in on your kidney journey, as unfun as it is. But man, hopefully a kidney pops up and you can go into hibernation for a few months and come out a whole new man.
For sure. Thank you all for having me, and it was really cool being on here. I haven't done a podcast before, so this is awesome.
There you go. You started at the top. Now there's just only one way to go down from here.
Wow.
All right, y'all take it easy.
All right, Josh.
All right, Josh. We'll talk to you in a few weeks.
Thanks. Later on.
That was good.
That was good. Yeah. Wow. I didn't 7%. That's just
7.
I mean, I don't know a tremendous deal about all of that. I mean, like literally I live vicariously through Aaron with his things that he has to deal with Natalie and, them going to appointments and always kind of being like talking to them after they're leaving or whatever and kind of hearing the stories about all the things that she has to go through and things that she's going to have to go through and stuff like that. And just the kidneys it's a tough one, man. Like I feel like there's a lot of other sicknesses that you can go through that are easily fixable or not as like long and drawn out. And it's just like the kidney situation just seems like it would be, I mean, especially knowing from how Natalie's dealt with it. It sucks.
Yeah. And like a lot of the same stuff that Josh was talking about. I was like, yep. Natalie deals with all this, the joints and the nausea and the room spinning stuff and all that good stuff. But man, freaking sucks. I can't imagine. I've passed a couple kidney stones and just, I can imagine having to deal with that pain pretty much all the time would be pretty sucky.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
That leads us into why we had Joshua on the show tonight. We don't have a whole lot of time. He definitely stayed longer than I anticipated, but it's fine. So
he had a lot to say, which was good. I mean, that's what we wanted from him.
100%. So here it is. This is why we had Josh on. He's the person getting the money from our charity beard competition, because I can't say that one word, but
recipient.
There it is. That word. He will be getting the money. Talking Beards, the club, the competition, volume 3. There's an event page on Facebook. You can find that event page, and then you go and you click the Eventbrite link, and that is the ticket link. What?
I was on my other computer here. It transcribes as you're talking, and when it got to you trying to say recipient, like it just skipped over the word.
Yep, that's how well I can't say it.
Yeah,
but here we go.
There you go.
There it is. Recipient.
It said shut up, recipient.
Recipient. Okay, so here we go. So you go to the people are laughing.
I know, they're having a good old time up there.
Good old time. So so go to the Facebook event page, or you can just go to Eventbrite itself, and then you can search for Talking Beards. Either way, go to the Eventbrite page. That's where our tickets are. You pick your category, and you can donate whatever you want, Scott, to donate in that category. So we did it so you could do $5, $10, all the way up to $1 million if you want to. And if you do $1 million, you will win Best in Show. So keep that in mind.
Free T-shirt too,
and a free T-shirt. So go to your category, donate whatever you can, and then you're done with Eventbrite. You are now registered. So now you can go to the FHL app. If that is working on your phone, you go to Talking Beards, the competition in the app. You click on compete, and then After you click compete, you click your category, and then at the bottom of the screen, you click compete again, and then you'll be prompted to upload your picture, and then you're all done. But the cool thing about what Brett has done with the app since the last time we did a competition, you can upload your own picture and you can change your own picture, because that was a very common theme the last 2 online events we did, because people were like, you know what, I don't like my picture. Will you change it? Will you change it? And some people were really bad about it. And we changed their picture multiple times. So now you can do it yourself.
So what we may do next week after our guest later in the show, we might do like a quick walkthrough, like, hey, if you download, so as whoever's listening, whoever's here, whoever listens in the future, make sure you get the FHL app. And then next week we'll bring the screen up. We're going to show you what it looks like, and we can walk you through how to sign up for this event, make it as easy as possible for you.
Now, with all that being said, there is an issue with the FHL app. And if you have a newer Android phone, it may not download properly and it might not work. Now, what some people have done is they've gone to, tablets that they have at the house, or, their kid's phone or something like that, just to download it. And then
tablets they have down the street in the
There you
neighbor's
go.
driveway.
Yeah, whatever's going to work. And they're still able to download the FHL app on a older device that they have laying around their house. But if that is just not something that you can do, you can still compete. You do the Eventbrite thing, you donate to your category, and then you just send me, Scott, Natalie, talkingbeards1@gmail.com a message, whoever, and we'll get you a picture in there, and we'll get it loaded in, and you'll tune in on the 27th and watch the show live, and you'll see your little pictures scroll across, and maybe you'll win. Maybe you will.
We don't know. But
there you go.
Yeah. So, see, yeah, and
There
you
you
just
go.
don't.
So
It's super easy. That's cool.
I added a donate only feature a couple days ago, because a couple people that, the people that don't really compete really, but they support, they go to the events, and they're not necessarily whiskerinas, or maybe they're dudes that don't even they just don't like competing. It's just something that they just don't like doing, and that's fine. There's a link on there. You can still go to the Eventbrite and you can donate whatever you want, and you can still participate in the event. So you can still help Joshua out, and Big Papa Bougie's in the house. My gosh, he came in, and he just came in with it, and I freaking love it. Bougie. But that's pretty much our show.
No, it's not.
What else do we got?
Because there is some big news that we need to, not big news, but there's important World Beard and Mustache.
Did we? Oh, we missed that.
We did not talk about it.
Oh, I meant to do that at the beginning.
Dang it.
Dadgummit. So yeah, for the people that are going to Worlds, we have a little bit of an update. I just wanted to kind of touch on something. So the tickets for Worlds, if you are a competitor, we've kind of read the messages, or if you haven't seen the messages, just listen up here. So if you are a competitor and you compete on Friday and you've already registered, which you should have already done, you have bought a competitor ticket or an entry ticket for Friday. So if you are competing on Saturday, it'll be the same thing. You have bought an entry ticket for Saturday. So that means if you want to go to the event on the next day, you are going to have to get a spectator ticket. It is what it is. It's kind of the way it's all worked out. I think they're trying to figure it out over there. It's a big event. It's in another country. Everybody doesn't do everything the same way, but it's going to be fine. Everybody, if you travel across the world and something happened and you couldn't get the spectator ticket or whatever, they're going to figure it out. They're going to surely hold some tickets, and everybody will still be able to get in. So just don't freak out. We still got a month or so to get it all hashed out, and they're definitely working on it. And if you do not somehow end up with your spectator ticket, I'm rest assured you will still be able to get into the event. We will not be traveling around the world and not be able to go. So they understand, and the club's working on helping everybody with the situation. So keep that in mind. Thank you. Thanks, Scott. I forgot.
Grape Ape. So I'm giving this is my one for Johnny Rodriguez. So he can take this, make this into a patch. All he needs to do is put a whaler on him.
What'd you say? The grape whaler or something like that? Traffic Code Johnny. That's what I did that for. I didn't want to. Oh, what's up? Bearded Bee Care. What's going on, guys? Yeah, you're driving. So this is the Belgium sellers of Honest Amish right there. The Bearded Bee Care. So they're coming over to Worlds to Burghausen, Germany. So that'll be cool to meet those guys for sure.
Yeah, and also, as we missed at the beginning of the show, and we'll kind of close the show out here with this. As Aaron just said, the Honest Amish distributors. But if you are in the market for some really great new products, or if you have already used them, go over to honestamish.com, and when you fill that card up, enter the promo code Talking Beards, and it'll give you 15% off your entire order. And if you order over $35, you will get free shipping domestically, meaning the pretty much continental United States. And yeah, so that's what you want to do. And if you know of any beard related events going on, please reach out to us at thebeardcalendar.com. If you are looking for beard related competitions or meets and greets, like, I mean, because you'd be eating bacon because of the Bacon Fest that's coming up.
Bacon.
But yeah, you can go to thebeardcalendar.com, and there's a list of all the events that are going on worldwide that we know of or that have been user submitted by you. So like I said, go to thebeardcalendar.com. Bacon Fest is this Saturday, which you can find out more information by going to thebeardcalendar.com. Look for the Bacon Fest. But yeah, so if you do have an event, let us know there so we can get it up on the calendar. And so then people can see it, and then we can get it up on our monthly The Beard Calendar YouTube video that we do. So
there you go. Well, that was a very informative episode for sure. Josh,
yeah, I mean,
Josh was full of kidney knowledge.
Yeah. Kidney experts we're going to be. You're freaking probably a kidney expert by now.
Working on it. Definitely learned a lot more in the last couple of years than I would have ever imagined. But yeah, man, that was it. I think that pretty well wrapped up the show. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in on our Wednesday night episode of Talking Beards. Next week, we have a very special guest. We're going to have Christian Fight from Germany on next Tuesday.
To talk about Worlds?
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be a tough episode. He's got a pretty heavy German accent, but we'll get through it. And so tune in next week. And if you have any questions about Worlds, I'm sure he can probably answer them. He'll be on here at 3 a.m. his time. So I don't know if he's going to wake up early or stay up late. But next week,
he's going to party hard all night.
He's just going to party hard all day and just all night and be ready to go. But yeah, next week is the special Worlds episode of Talking Beards. So tune in for that one. Until then, I'm Aaron D. Johnston. Check me out at Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Go ahead, Scott.
And I'm Scott Sykora. You can find me at Scott Sykora, Facebook, and yeah, you can find me on all that stuff. Make sure you go find us over on Facebook, Talking Beards, that is, and follow us over there, and or YouTube, so you can watch our show live every Tuesday at 8 p.m., which would be the normal time. But yeah, you can check out all the older shows and stuff. But if you want to check out more about Talking Beards, go to talkingbeards.com, and you can watch the show live over there, as well as check out all the other cool stuff. So thank you, everyone, for checking in. Thank you, Josh, for stopping in. Looking forward to hearing about Worlds next week. It sounds like it's going to be a really awesome episode. So make sure you guys all tune in Tuesday. So we thank you.
That's it. See you next Tuesday.
No, that's rude.
Okay, bye. Oh, yeah. Okay, bye.
Why are we no?